Today you will be watching the Unit 1 review video to help you prepare for your Unit 1 test. The first skill you need for your test is to be able to simplify expressions. In order to do this, you need to be able to use PEMDAS. If you need to review PEMDAS, please review the 1A video. Take a moment to try these two problems on the bottom of your screen. You may pause the video now, work them out, as the answers will appear on the next screen. Now that we can look at these answers, we can see that on the left-hand side, we needed to add the two numbers together in parentheses first, then we multiply to give us 18, and then we can subtract to get -7. On the right-hand side, you can see that we need to multiply first, so we get -20 and 27, and then we can add to get 7. Again, if you need more help with order of operations, please review the 1A video online. The second thing you need to be able to do is to analyze functions. This means you need to be able to identify coordinates, quadrants, and the domain or range. Again, please pause the video while you solve these problems. Once you're ready to see the solutions, you may hit play again. As we see here, the coordinates of point A are 6, 8. We move right 6, up 8, and we get to point A. For point B, we move left 6, up 2, giving us the coordinates of -6, 2. For the domain, we're discussing x, so we use this notation. Our smallest number, -6, is listed first, and our biggest number, +6, is listed second. For y, we use the same notation, except for we use y instead of x when we're talking about the range. Our smallest value for our range is 2, and our biggest value is 8. So we say it's 2 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 8. Again, if you want more help with coordinates, domain and range, or quadrants, please review the 1B video. The third thing you need to be able to do is to solve a one-step equation. Remember to use inverse operations to solve. So when you see adding, you subtract. When you see subtraction, you add. When you see multiplication, you divide. And when you see division, you multiply. Go ahead and pause the video while you solve these equations. When you hit play, the answers will appear on your screen, so you can check your work. Here we see that if we, on the upper left-hand side, if we subtract 10 from both sides, we get our solution of x equals 11. On the upper right-hand side, you can see that if we add 4 to both sides, we get x equals -5. Down on the bottom left in green, you can see that if we divide by 3, we get our solution of x equals 6. And on the bottom right, you can see that if we multiply by 3 on both sides, we get our solution of x equals 21. Again, if you need more solutions here or more practice here, you can review by watching the 1C and D video. You will also need to be able to solve multi-step equations with variables on one side. Go ahead and pause your video, work out these problems, and then compare your answers to the answers on the next slide. If we review our solutions, on the left-hand side here, you can see that the first thing we needed to do is combine like terms, giving us 2x plus 12 equals 16. Then we would subtract 12 from both sides, then divide by 2, giving us a final solution of x equals 2. On the right-hand side, we're going to follow the same process. We will again combine like terms, so put our x's together and our numbers together. That gives us 8x minus 10 equals 46. We will add 10 to both sides, then divide by 8 to get x equals 7 as our solution. Again, you can access the 1C and D review video if you need more help on this. You will also need to be able to solve multi-step equations when there are variables on both sides. Again, please pause the video so you can write down the equations and then hit play when you are ready to see the solutions. If we look at this first video, we can see that the first thing we have to do is combine like terms. Not the first video, sorry, the first problem. From there, you're going to add 5 over, subtract 4x, and that leaves you with 2x equals 42, where you will divide by 2 to get your solution of x equals 21. If we look at this problem on the bottom, we can see that in order to solve, we need to first distribute the 2. That means 2 times x gives us 2x, and 2 times 6 gives us 12. Now we combine like terms as above, we subtract 12, we minus 3x from both sides, and lastly, we divide by 2 to get our solution of x equals 2. If you want to review how to solve equations when there are variables on both sides, please access the 1E video online. The second to last thing you'll need to be able to do on your test tomorrow is to isolate for a variable. For example, in this first equation we're going to isolate for t, and in this second equation we're going to isolate for b. Remember that you only need to be able to recognize the solution, not necessarily solve. However, we will ask you to solve or at least write what the equation might look like here and compare it to the answers on the next page. So go ahead and pause your video, try these problems, hit play when you're ready to see the solutions. Here we can see that on the left we needed to divide by r on both sides, giving us t equals d divided by r. On the right hand side we subtracted ax, we treated it all as 1, and then to get b by itself we had to divide by y, which left us with b equals c minus ax divided by y as our solution. Again, we're just looking for recognition. If you want more help with this, please access the 1F video online. The last thing you need to be able to do is to use rates, ratios, and proportions. In order to do this, we need to be able to know how to find the multiplicative inverse and convert measures into different units. Go ahead and take a minute, pause the video, review your notes, use your unit conversion sheet, and solve these problems. Once you hit play, the answers will appear on the next slide. On the top, it's easy to see that we're talking about 4/3. We simply look for the reciprocal of this number. If there's a negative, the reciprocal would also be negative. In this case, however, it's positive, so we just flip the numbers. On the bottom, we have 10 yards over 3 seconds. In order to move it to feet per minute, we need to first cancel yards and get feet. So we multiply by 3 feet per 1 yard. Then we multiply by 60 seconds per 1 minute to cancel out seconds and leave us with minutes. Here you see we've canceled yards, we've canceled seconds. On top we're left with feet. On bottom we're left with minutes. And we multiply straight across. 10 times 3 times 60 gives us 1,800. And 3 times 1 times 1 gives us 3, which we can then divide out to get 600 feet per every 1 minute. That's all you need to know for tomorrow, these types of problems. If you have questions, review the videos, review your notes, come and ask us in the morning. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow ready for your test.